in Epsom, and I was in Wallington. Eric was in Ripley, so a sort of like 20-minute bus ride.
Some musicians are respected, others are adored, but then there are those rare legends who are worshipped by their peers. Jeff Beck was one of those. He didn't just inspire fans, he inspired the very musicians we consider gods of rock. Today, we're uncovering the true stories of 6 bands who loved touring with Jeff Beck, and the fascinating reasons why. From rivalry with Led Zeppelin, to explosive chemistry with Rod Stewart, to unforgettable nights with Stevie Ray Vaughan. Buckle up, because this ride through rock history is one you don't want to miss. This is Backstage Tales. Number 1, The Yardbirds, 1965-1966. A new sound is born. When Clapton left the Yardbirds, the band's future looked uncertain. But when Jeff Beck joined, the sound instantly shifted. Suddenly, blues rock wasn't enough. Beck was bending notes, feeding back amps, and experimenting with fuzz boxes in ways nobody had heard before. During their tours of the US in 1965 and 1966, opening for acts like the Rolling Stones, other musicians flocked side stage just to watch Beck. Pete Townsend later admitted he was blown away by how Jeff made his guitar scream and sing. The Yardbirds themselves loved touring with Beck because his inventiveness gave them an edge over every other British invasion band. They weren't just another blues act, they were futuristic. Fans would say, it felt like watching rock music evolve before your eyes. That's the kind of magic Beck brought. Number 2. Rod Stewart and the Jeff Beck Group, 1968-1969. Explosive character. By the late 60s, Beck wasn't content with being just another sideman, he wanted his own powerhouse band. Enter Rod Stewart and Ronnie Wood. Together, they formed the Jeff Beck Group, and when they toured America in 1968, they stunned audiences. At the Fillmore East in New York, they opened for the Grateful Dead. Critics wrote that Beck's guitar sounded like thunder colliding with fire, while Rod's raspy wail gave the music raw emotion. Touring with Rod was special because it wasn't just about the guitar, it was about a chemistry that felt dangerous and unpredictable. Fun fact: members of Led Zeppelin were in the audience during one of these shows and admitted they were terrified, because the Jeff Beck Group almost stole their thunder before Zeppelin even got big. That tells you how powerful this collaboration was. Number 3, Led Zeppelin, 1969-1970. Rivals and Brothers. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page weren't just friends, they were rivals, constantly pushing each other. Both were Yardbirds alumni, and both knew how to weaponize the guitar. When Zeppelin and Beck's projects toured the same circuits, there was an unspoken competition. Jimmy Page once said he never knew what Beck would pull off on stage, whether it was violent feedback, rapid-fire runs, or a quiet melody that silenced the crowd. Zeppelin loved sharing bills with Beck because it wasn't just a concert, it was a duel. Fans got a front-row seat to two of the greatest guitarists of all time trying to one-up each other. And yet, behind the scenes, they had deep respect. Page even invited Beck to jam at Zeppelin rehearsals, and the two remained close throughout their lives. Touring with Jeff Beck wasn't just about music, it was about history being written in real time. Number 4, Eric Clapton and the Arms Tour, 1983. Brotherhood on Stage.
What do you do when you get lonely? Who's waiting by your side?
By the early 80s, rock had changed. But one event brought the old guard together: the Arms charity concerts, created to raise money for multiple sclerosis research. On stage were 3 guitar giants: Clapton, Page, and Beck. What made this tour special is that Clapton openly admitted Beck inspired him to be bolder. On nights where Beck went first, Clapton had to elevate his playing, otherwise he risked looking tame. Fans loved it because they were seeing legends challenge each other, not with ego, but with respect. Clapton later said, "Jeff was the most unpredictable player alive. Touring with him kept me awake, kept me alive." For Clapton to admit that tells you why he cherished those tours so much. Number 5, Stevie Ray Vaughan, 1989. A Guitar Summit. Fast forward to 1989, and fans got what is still considered one of the greatest double bills ever, Jeff Beck and Stevie Ray Vaughan on the same ticket. The idea came from Vaughan, who idolized Beck and wanted to tour with him. Beck agreed immediately, saying Stevie had the kind of raw energy that reminded him of why he picked up a guitar in the first place. Each night, Stevie would play first, delivering his Texas blues fire. Then Beck would walk out and change the mood entirely, jazz fusion runs, delicate harmonics, even finger-picking like a classical guitarist. Fans said it was like witnessing two different universes collide, but both rooted in pure love of the guitar. Vaughan himself called Beck the greatest player alive. That tour became legendary not just for the music, but because it showed how two very different masters could inspire each other night after night. Number 6, Buddy Guy and the Blues Legends honoring the roots.
Good friends I've lost along the way.
And finally, Jeff Beck never forgot where it all began, the blues. He adored legends like Buddy Guy, B.B. King, and John Lee Hooker. Touring with Buddy Guy was particularly special. Unlike with rock peers, Beck never tried to outshine Buddy. Instead, he leaned back, almost as if he were a student again, letting Buddy lead the way. Buddy once said, "Jeff didn't just play the blues, he respected the blues." Fans loved these shows because they weren't just concerts, they were tributes. You could feel Beck's humility, his deep gratitude to the players who paved the way. That's why Buddy Guy and others loved having him on tour. He didn't steal the spotlight, he elevated it. And in return, audiences witnessed history bridging generations. So what do these stories tell us? Touring with Jeff Beck wasn't just about filling arenas. It was about collaboration, respect, and pushing boundaries. From the Yardbirds inventing new sounds, to Rod Stewart's explosive chemistry, to Stevie Ray Vaughan's dream tour, every partnership showed the world a different side of Jeff Beck. That's why the greatest names in music loved sharing a stage with him. Because he didn't just play guitar, he made everyone around him better. And that's why Jeff Beck remains one of the most beloved figures in rock history. If you loved this journey into Jeff Beck's legendary collaborations, hit that like button, share this with your fellow rock fans, and don't forget to subscribe for more hidden gems of rock history. This is Backstage Tales, where the music never dies, and the stories keep playing.